Hey everybody, welcome to IT West End. Today we're going to be going over QR codes and learning just a little more just to ensure that we're operating in a safe manner and ensuring we know what to look for in our daily lives. Now, I've gone over a few venues over the last while, and some of them have been a little surprising in what they've been asking, and some of them obviously use it for market research and some people use it for nefarious purposes. Now, today, when we go through QR codes, we're going to be looking at login registrations for visitors. So, we will be going over the malicious aspect of some people and how it relates to our OffSec. Now, my background is IT and a bit of criminal justice, so hence why we're going to be discussing a bit of the criminality behind it and how it can be used in this purpose. However, this framework is to be used as an educational purpose, and anyone who wishes to use a bit of my work today can do so in their own presentations, whatever have you. Go for it. Completely up for helping everyone, so be free to use it. Just mention my name if you want to. Now, QR codes are very easy to do. They can also be used in conjunction with bit.ly addresses, and also this will be read quickly, and you may not catch it necessarily right away. So, QR codes are read, and it automatically says, "Do you want me to open this up for you?" So, knowing that most people just say yes and continue on ahead. However, with this, we'll go over this in a bit in detail a little later, but just to be wary of those kind of tactics, quick presentation of info, do it right away. Take your time when you do things and understand what you're putting your name to. The other point of this exercise is, and what dreadfully scares the bejesus out of me, is that it is very scalable, very easy, and very quick to do if you are determined. With these type of logins, if you are, say, someone doing a campaign and you're a bad guy, I don't consider those people hackers by any means. They're criminals. Hackers are good guys and they do the right thing and they learn to improve things or make things function differently. However, with today's work, we will go over just on a bit of basic setup, how to work with a bit of QR codes, how to generate your own QR codes and forms, and two different ways in order to get your business assessed. Now, with this, the pretext of our exercise today is we are going to be looking at a fake company called QRCoffee. QRCoffee is liked by everyone. We love it, right? Now, with QRCoffee, their staff are always busy. People love them. And most of the time, people are not going to recognize if you put something on their table. Now, you can either do a full copy, which we will test, and you can either put one QR code, which will be more reasonable, but for testing purposes, after I show everything, I'll also do another clip on how it actually works and show you the results of our effort today. One is through using a normal site that we've created. Everything that we use today is legit, but it's just the method and how it's used and how it's implemented for a particular purpose. Now, I've done up a site. It's going to be up for the next year. So this is kind of my gift to you, to the interwebs. Use it as you wish. It does function as per its intent to gather information, so just don't log it out. And I'll clear it out if it needs required. Just remember that I try to put just basic information in there to the point where I don't want to know any information. Particularly, it's testing purposes to show proof of concept for education. With the forms, I've left it more blank as it's easily and scalable to do per your methodology. Now, with point two with the forms, this is more geared towards your small business, or because of how things are going these days, a lot of people are doing it real tough. So they may be looking for that free method. And I've also set up an email address attached to, for this later on that is made intently just for this purpose. All right. So thank you, and let's continue on to the lab and see how we can do this.
Good morning, and we're back. So basically, we've pre-texted and we've done our OSINT, and we've collected information on QRCoffee, as we have previously discussed. Now, QRCoffee, they're busy, and the ability to implement a malicious QR is very easy. Now, in order to understand this, QR codes, they present a string or command injection or anything else, they can do a variety of different things. I'll also go off and show you a little bit of QR Gen just before we do everything, just to show you that they can, in fact, hold just about any piece of information. Now, what malicious actors may also do is also include things as a bit.ly address or a shortened URL. A lot of the time, this will obfuscate, and most people, most of the time, just click hit and connect. However, we want to empower people to stop, verify, and understand bit.ly addresses. So let's continue on, and let's get to it. Now, QRCoffee is a website that I put up just recently. This was to help with understanding that, yes, it's a fake site, just in case you happen to stumble upon it, and that it's for testing purposes. So, let's see what we can get. Now, I've also done QR Gen just to help illustrate a point. However, if you use this, understand that it has quite a bit of power. Now, when you go through it, you will be presented with the ability to do a few different things, such as SQL injections, cross-site scripting, command injection, format strings, and to understand this, you have to put a word list. You can also generate QR codes while doing this and encode those QR codes. But let's take a look at what abilities they have, and I'll just cat it out for you, just to show that we have this ability. I won't get into this side too much. So I want to go to words, and we have our options from above. Now, um, let's just go to, say, format string. These are different various, and each line here is a different QR code that will get generated should you do this. So you can also include your own custom payloads with this program. Um, so ultimately, um, what you make of it is what you make out of it. Um, don't trust a QR code. Now, uh, with the next set, we have the ability to go to QR encode. This is a free open source ability to encode links into your QR code. It's very versatile and it's free to use. So QR codes. You can go to Linux Magazine. It'll show you how to install it all. But for now, let's go to our setup page and see what we're working with. So we have our fake website, and from our um, information gathering phase, we can see that this is exactly the way it should be. I've put fake in there just so we don't get this confused. And this section with login to Dime, this is the information gathering section that we are wanting from people. It also has a date and time. Now, this is also very useful if this were implemented by a bad guy, because these are scalable and very distributable. Um, all you'd have to do is change the website the way you want it to look like, and um, this is why I think QR codes are not the best thing to use, because it will misdirect us to the wrong place, because this is not the place we want to be. So, how do you criminals do this? So, QR encode. We want our output, and we want that to be, I don't know, we love coffee. And then, all right. We love coffee is there. Let's open it up. We love coffee. With this on the screen right now, even from your desk or workstation or phone, go ahead. You can try scanning that right now. I'm sure it'll work. With the previous experiment for the poster that I showed, I've already done this exercise and transferred those over onto a form and printed those off. So this does work correctly, and it's been tested through. Okay, very simple, very easy to do. You've done your information gathering phase, and this is now exploitable. However, uh, in order to understand this, we will go further into this, and we will see that fake QRCoffee is not the right URL that we want to be at, because QRCoffee is the only URL we want to be at. I put fake in there, obviously, testing purposes yet again. URLs can be misspelt by even just maybe an underscore or a symbol like an S for a dollar sign. Um, Usually that will play with perception a little bit. And if you're going for coffee first thing in the morning, you're probably not going to recognize that. So what we do in order to obfuscate this is we put it through our URL shortener, and then we can do the same step as above with the We Love Coffee PNG. And instead of just doing the HTTP as highlighted, we can put our bit.ly address as I have done here previously. So fakeqrcoffee.com, and that was our bit.ly address. So that's the first step and first method to be done. Um, Hosting costs a few dollars and is done very, very quickly, very easily, and usually costs maybe for the exercise for this in itself cost only $20. So I'm sure $20 would pay off for a malicious actor. Now we have one more. And this is for those who are getting off their feet and back onto them. However, this is not the right step for, I believe, any business to try, and that's using Google Forms. Google Forms I've seen have been used. This is very custom, very unreliable, and very insecure. And if you see a company or business that does this, talk to them first before doing anything, ensuring that you're going to the right place and that you're clicking on the right form and with the right QR code. Yet again, when it asks you to go to that QR address, um, ensure that it's the right one that they have provided. Ask questions. Ask, because if you don't know, then obviously you don't know. And there's no shame in asking a question from anyone. Now, our next step is obviously we want to create a form. Um, this one, fake QRCoffee at fakeqrcoffee@gmail.com. I've set that up just for testing purposes for this lab. Yet again, if you want to use this form and you want to use it as an educational purpose for anyone or any place you may want to use this, you can do so. It doesn't bother me. Um, or if you want to use this process, by all means, go ahead and do so. So basically, we just want to do a new form. And we can label and do anything we want. And so let's do anyone just to show you the process through. Fake 2, just to not confuse people. There's our name field. Sorry, name up here. And short answer. There we go. And that's all you're pretty much required to do. You can add as many fields as you wish. But for just showing you the process, that's all I'm going to do. Now, in order to get this published and done, we want to link. There's our full address right here. I'll highlight that for you. Now, that obviously would be a little concerning to anyone, I'm sure, if they saw that and wanted to open a QRL code. So, Google helps us out anyways. Thanks, Google. Um, it's shortened it right down, and I'm sure if we tried a bit.ly address on that as well, we could do so. I've only tested the forms shortened URL. That works perfectly using the same encoding method with QR encode. All you have to do is do the same thing over. It works just the same. And I printed that back out on the piece of poster that I've shown you previously. That works. So takeaways. We need to verify our bit.ly addresses. Ensure that we're not going to HTTP addresses. Because if we're going to HTTP, everything's clear text. So what I want to impress upon people is these things are very easy for people to do. All they have to do is put a piece of tape on a QRL code that they printed off, even if it's down to the cutting of a square, and attaching it onto one of their forms already at the front sign-in sheet at the front of a business of certain venues, and obviously um, nobody would know the wiser, unfortunately. So I think better methods do need to be pressed upon within the ability to get people to sign in. Um, if I was in a business, I wouldn't be giving a QRL code out anywhere. I would give my full business not email address, URL. Ask people to go to that proper URL and then use the proper sign-in verification method that I have provided as a business. That way that if it's all in plain text, I know it's not easy because some people just want to scan and go. But a few moments of your day will help you in the long run. Um, Not only does it help people control their cyber identity if they just slow down and just understand where they're going, what they put their information into, kind of question what kind of information you're being asked. There's some businesses out there, unfortunately, these days, who have gone and linked up their business app with the ability to provide that as COVID information. So I've seen businesses that have gone and unfortunately gone to the lengths of getting every piece of personal information beyond the COVID information. Now, as terms of the focus of this talk here, um, criminals see this as a very easy opportunity, unfortunately. It can happen, and I just want people to be mindful and to just take a second look at what they're actually doing, what kind of information that they provide to the world. And I want them to just to see that they could use very legitimate tactics in order to do this. So it took them, what, maybe a fake credit card that you could have gotten from the post office to register that domain. Uh, you could have put any fake information in there and they would have probably registered that domain name in order to get that HTTP site and hosted it using whatever information they felt to provide to whatever email or server hosting service. Very easy, takes 2 seconds. It took me all of 5 seconds to make that Gmail account this morning and get those forms running. So take the moment because obviously criminals see this as an easy vector for targeting individuals, or they can scale it to a larger campaign and include areas. Depends on what their goals are. But I want people to stay safe, stay mindful, and stay secure. And have a good day. And in a few seconds, we will see the results of our QR codes that we've placed onto our poster and see the lab from there. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. This is Noah. We are going to be testing out our new QR codes that we have created for the fake QR coffee. I've included two different QR codes in this exercise in order to show you the two different QR methods that we have discussed. Both can be used, one or the other, and produces slightly different results, but at the end of the day, this both can compromise personal information for those who are of at-risk categories. Let's take a look and test both of these QR codes and see how they perform. All right, it's asking me to open up the QR on a bit.ly address. On this, we can find our fake QRCoffee that we have done our assessment on. There is no 123 Evergreen Terrace for those in the know. And here's our login to Dine information with the current time and date. And the address can be defined as per the location of the actual venue. This is obviously, there's been some pretext for this. And this also includes just gaining a copy. I've also shown that it's fake QRCoffee instead of QRCoffee, just so that for educational purposes, we know the difference. We can also see that this is an HTTP site without the HTTPS. There we can see it. All right, now let's try our next one. It's going to a forums page. Let's test this. There we are, fake QRCoffee. Name, let's just put in Noah. Submit that. And we do not want to submit another. We could if we wanted to, but it's going to a Google Docs, and we will take a look at this and see the actual response.